And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 4 of this Best of 7 show match series. I am the Mish King here, and today, well, we've already gone through the first 3 games, so, well, because I'm going to reintroduce these guys for the 4th time. We have, on the bottom left-hand side, Zed, whom I've called by numerous names in the last couple of games. And on the top right-hand side, we have none other than the Terran player, Jakkari. Kind of has a little J kind of looking thing. I believe this is a Protoss decal, and a really cool one at that. But what sort of game will we be expecting here? First game, we got some really awkward macro push thingy from Zed. Second game, we had an insane game of cheese. Third game, well, a macro game gone horribly wrong for a Protoss player. And now in game 4, I don't know, man. It's gonna be all over the place. If this is Bad Boys, I would have said this shit got real the second after the first game started. Oh! Now, I do believe that Jakkari is one game ahead of Zed. And will Jakkari be taking, or should I say extending, that league further? And we have the standard opening by Jakkari, a really defensive style opening, but the question is, will he be throwing another barracks up, or will he be throwing down a refinery? And on Zed's side, no more shenanigans going for his gas. This looks like it's probably going to be his 3-gate robo opening. No 4 gates this game, making me sad, because what's a Protoss without a 4-gate? Anyhow. Interesting position with this supply depot. It kind of, there's a lot of dark spots of the base. Sure, this area is still in the dark for that there double proxy gate, or that there forge cannon rush. Yeah, made you wait for it. Made you wait for it. You guys have to use some thought process also, otherwise this would not be fun. And the SCV is just chilling out, going around Zed's base with that epic waypoint fest 2012. Speaking of 2012, anybody out there who was fooled by Coney 2012, do check out the latest videos. New information has been, and I have apparently left the game. No, I've left the game, but I'm in the game because of the magic that is Mishy. You see, I've tricked these players into thinking that I left the game just to see what they'd actually do, and it looks like Jakkari is throwing down his command center. His SCV is still chilling out in his base, and it looks like Zed is expanding himself. Pretty standard build from Zed, already gone for his warp gate started. And I don't know, man, looks like we're in for a long-term game, and yes, there's going to be a forward bunker. Nice position with the bunker, although I still feel that maybe some stalkers could sneak in from the back this area and then go behind the mineral line, rendering this bunker useless, but still they'll take a lot of damage going through. And we've got 2 more Raxes coming for Jakkari. No gas as of yet. And from Zed's point of view, the stalker is on the field. Does he have a zealot? No zealot. Chrono boosting that warp gate technology and going for another gateway. Will there be another gateway after this, or will there be a robo? We'll just have to wait and see. And it looks like Jakkari's command center is nearly done, going for that refinery as well. And his 3rd Rax is nearly done. This particular 3 Rax opening, well, not exactly opening, but this sort of particular build style seems to be something that Jakkari has been honing for quite some time. Immediately going for the orbital command. Double orbital command. Those mules, man. Those OP mules. And warp gate tech is just done for Zed, going for another gateway. So he's got 3 gates, and his expo is nearly done. What do we have from our... oh, and there goes the robotics bay. And sending a few of these probes down to his expo. Jakkari, same mindset, man, going for his own, and oh, I never really noticed that. The whole decal being on top of the bunker itself. That's kind of cool. And what do we have Jakkari doing? I bet he wishes he could throw in a pylon somewhere on the map and just warp in Marines, but then again, that would just be so OP, the game would be broken. What do we have from Zed's side? We have, well, pretty normal game going for a couple of centuries, but his army comp is really very vulnerable for any kind of shenanigans, considering there are 13 Marines out. Sure, this one stalker could kite indefinitely, but I just feel that something's gone wrong here, or possibly gone wrong here for Zed. No obs on the field yet, and we've got an SCV just coming to check out what the situation is. And what do we have with the development tab? Stim has started, +1 has started, and a Marauder is on its way for Jakkari. And Jakkari going to go for another supply depot, and Jakkari knows, man. He knows, and now with that scan he knows exactly what's in the main. He also sees the robotics bay. So, I don't know, man. Will Zed play some mind games? Oh my goodness, I forgot the most important thing of all. Oh, that logo. That logo. Nice pylon positioning by Zed. Jakkari with the tower, and Zed with his obs moving across the field. It's kind of like Jaws. Anyway, what do we have in Jakkari's main base? I am being bitten to death by mosquitoes right now, and I really hope I don't get dengue. Nothing much, a pretty standard game from both these players. Early Colossi, well, relatively early Colossi, in my opinion, for Zed, who hasn't properly saturated his natural. Got the double gas, though. His main is, oh, yeah, I'd say about saturated. And going for another RoboBay, going to be cranking out double Colossi possibly for this game. And no Forge as of yet. Oh, there we go. The Forge is on its way. So those upgrades, man, are going to be coming. And we got 4 racks and 1 starport for our Terran player. And he's just going pure MMM, but the Lost M and the most important one, you can argue, it's debatable. But the medevac, man, that medevac count is non-existent as of yet, so those stims are really going to start hurting the Terran player if there is an engagement before the medevac count can reach an optimum amount. And we have a lot of pylons going down in really interesting positions. I like these positions that Zed has thrown these pylons down. It's really good. Me likey. Chrono boosting that thermal lance upgrade. I'm not going to say extended because that just sounds like it's a director's cut of the external lance. External. As if it couldn't have gotten any hotter. And that Marine, man, 1v1ing that pylon, saying, haha, I have a gun and you do not. And now another clutch scan. Interesting that Jakkari would spend so much with scans. I mean, overall in this entire game series, he has been using scans in interesting positions, but it's also debatable whether the scans were actually useful or not. And the second engineering bay coming up along with an armory for our Terran player, and +1 upgrade is halfway done for Zed, and thermal lance is done. Getting a few zealots on the field, double Colossi production now starting, and chrono boosting one of those Robotech bays, well, facilities I should say. And will he get the hallucination upgrade and just hallucinate a few more Colossi just to mess with the Terran player? Something that I believe should be done more often, because you can really mess with them really effectively by just hallucinating an entire army and just winning. Anyway, we've got 2 more gateways on the way. +1 is nearly done. Pylon is on the middle of the field, but I do believe this is within this Marine's field of view. Yes, Jakkari can see this, and he's trying to spot for a third base, which this third base is actually not really very common in my point of view. It's usually this base over here that a lot of players would take, because they can just, well, in ZVZs mostly, you can just wall off one area, which is this area, you can say, or this area, and make a little wall. And we've got a huge troop movement from the Terran player, but the problem is he doesn't have that great of a Viking count. And he's producing off of 1 starport with a reactor, producing the double Vikings, trying to get his second reactor starport ready so he can negate the threat that is that Colossi count. And the Colossi count is currently at 5 Colossi with 2 more Colossi on the way. Zed just going balls out Colossi for this game. No +1 armor as of yet, but the +1 weapons has finished. I do believe the +1/+1 is done, yes, for Jakkari. 3 medevacs on the field, 4 Vikings. I do believe more Vikings should actually, this might be a slight, 4 Vikings are on the way, 2 Marauders, 2 Marines. And the medevac count is now starting to look a little bit better. But I don't know, man. And now Zed is making his push across the field. That push, man. That dangerous push. And really, Jakkari could have afforded... Oh, scanning to see in case there was an observer there. And oh, we might be in for quite a battle as Zed is going to go and see the tower. And now Jakkari knows that that force is on the move. That Marine which just got owned, and this factory should be helping spot. No, the factory completely misses it. Jakkari is just using his animalistic instincts to try and find out where exactly this army is. And now Zed with that tower knows where Jakkari's army is, and it's a game of cat and mouse, and they're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. A couple of pot shots from those Vikings. And it looks like, oh, War of the Worlds has started, and so much rain of death. Oh my goodness. Does anybody want some Kentucky Fried Jakkari soldiers? It's just finger licking good. I bet you these Protoss zealots are like, hey, come back here, we're too fat. Hey, hut 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 hut. Bet you those guys really would have... Wow, half the army wasn't even in position. And I bet you these zealots probably would have enjoyed to have the benefit of charge. But he doesn't need charge, man. Oh, this concave is going to be interesting. Is he going to use Guardian Shield? Is he going to use Force Field? No, he's like, I don't need casting units. I got this, I got this. And this one Protoss has 2 HP. And it looks like Zed will be taking game 2 with this massive Colossi force burning everything within his path. And even though the Viking count has improved somewhat, it's just not enough, man. It's just not enough. And it looks like Jakkari is going to drop game 4. We will be going into game 5. The score will be 2-2. Amazing play by Zed, and I'll be seeing you guys in game 5.